Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Earlier today, for whatever reason, I was not thinking about and comprehending the fact that it's a Wednesday. So I was thinking about different ideas and things to do and talk about for tonight's video. And then after about 5 minutes of, you know, thinking about writing something down, I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's a Wednesday. Good evening, Keveron. Glad you're here on this Wednesday night. Thanks for commenting. Anybody else that checks in, feel free to leave a comment down below. Make sure you give the video a like and a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. So then I had to backtrack and think about, well, what can I do for a top 10 countdown? And this idea hit me because my daughter is just like me. She likes corny, goofy, silly stuff. She's just like her daddy. And a few weeks back, I was telling her, hey there, Austin, glad you're here. I was telling her about some of the off the wall names that I've heard over the years watching sports. And I was just rattling off some names. I'm not going to say any of the names right now because I'm going to talk about that here in a minute on my top 10 countdown. So she sat down beside me, and her and I scrolled through the internet just looking at some of the best names of all time. So that's how I got this idea. I may have done this top 10 countdown before. I don't think I have, but even if I did, it's been so long. The channel's grown so much since then. I can do it again, but I don't think I have. But this is going to be the top 10 best all-time names in sports history, not just baseball, not basketball, but sports in general. And then I wrote down some names that I think are also cool that were not quite good enough to make the top 10 list, but still awesome names. So this is my personal opinion of the best 10 names in the history of sports. And also, it'll be on YouTube at some point in time, but I don't run any of those shows' YouTube pages, so I can't tell you how long it'll be. It could be a week and it could be 6 months. I'm not sure. Number 10 and 9 were brothers, and they actually played at the same time for a year or two, but it's been so long ago that I don't recall which one was older. It really doesn't matter because they both had awesome names. Yes, John, you can shave your head. Anybody can shave their head if they do so choose. I started shaving my head when I was about 20 years old because haircuts had got to about $10 a piece, and I said, you know what? I'm not paying $10 to cut my hair. I'll do it myself. And I went to a retail store and I bought a complete razor kit. It come with a razor for your head, and it had options on how long do you want your hair. Do you want to be completely bald? Do you want it half an inch? Do you want it a quarter of an inch? Do you want it an eighth of an inch? And you just pick whatever haircut you want to go with. And the deeper blades you pick, the more hair you shave off. And it also came with scissors, the little airbrush thing that barbers use, and all that. And I think I spent $20 on that over 20 years ago, and it lasted me about 10 years. But now you can go to a retail store, or you can go to a store inside a mall or something that sells hair stuff and usually find them. I've never shaved my head completely bald because I feel like I wouldn't look right being completely bald, but I do usually shave it to about an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch, something like that. Then as soon as it starts growing back and it starts sticking up, it's time to shave it again. So I have not had hair. I have not had to buy shampoo or hairspray or gel or anything like that in over 20 years. And to be honest with you, it feels pretty doggone good not having to buy it. But number 10 was Scientific Map, and number 9, Majestic Map. And they both played basketball for Virginia. Number 8, Cocoa Crisp. And every time I hear that name, I think of the cereal. Number 7, Perfection Harris. That's some awesome parents to name their child Perfection. Number 6, a long name, Wonderful, Terrific Mons the Third. He played baseball, and I don't think that Wonderful, Terrific Mons 1 and 2 were famous, but number 3 sure was. Number 5 is a name that looked like Per the Jew, but it was pronounced pear juice. And he played hockey for the New York Rangers. So somebody's name was actually Pear Juice, not the way it was spelt, the way it was pronounced. Number 4, God's Gift Achua. He played basketball for St. John's. Hey there, Zent. Glad you're here. Number 3, an awesome name, Your Highness Morgan. He actually played football for Florida Atlantic. We'll never know how good he can because he actually had to give up football because he suffered concussions, and his doctors advised him to give it up, so he did. Hey there, Jordan. Glad to have you here. So number 3 was Your Highness Morgan. Number 2, a great name, Justin Love Smith. He played basketball for Siena, and yes, his actual first name was Justin Love. And number 1 will always be number 1. I could do this list 20 more times over the years, and there'll never be a cooler name than my number 1 choice. And my number 1 choice is X-Ray Hip. Now, I don't know exactly what year he played at Maryland. He played basketball, but I started watching basketball when I was 10 or 11, and he was there. So he played 93 to 97, 94 to 98, somewhere along in there. But if you've never heard of him, go look him up. His actual real name was X-Ray Hip. And now some of the names that were also awesome that did not quite make the top 10 list, but great names nonetheless. Austin Powers, not the movie. There was an actual basketball player named Austin Powers. And then we had Dean Windass, Hock and Lube. You ever seen somebody who said they had a hock and loogie? That's what his name pretty much was, Hock and Lube. Then we had Reuben Boomshay, and that's one of the names that I gave my daughter when her and I was talking about this. He played basketball for Georgetown, I believe. And then we had another basketball player, Luke Richard Baamute. And then we had another basketball player named World Be Free. And we got 2 football players I just put on the list because I think their names were awesome. They were both Hawaiian/Samoan. One of them's name was Chris Fuamata Mafala, and the other one's name was Brandon Manu Maliuna. We've got I Am Hip, Chief Kickin' Stallion Sims, Ben Gay, Milton Bradley, like the toy, Fair Hooker, because if you're going to be a hooker, you've got to be fair about it. Ben Gay, Harry Colin, Ron Tugnut, Dick Pole, Longer, Razor Shines, and Urban Shocker. Yes, they've got a Facebook page also, and it's called Scrappy Championship Wrestling. This is only going to be their 3rd or 4th show, 3rd, I think. But the Facebook page is Scrappy Championship Wrestling. So any thoughts on this top 10 countdown, please feel free to let me know. Any cool names that you can think of, whether they're sports-based or not, let me know. But see, to me, these are cool names. They're not just dumb names like the actor Jason Lee naming his child Pilot Inspector. That's not a cool name. That's dumb. You shouldn't name your child Pilot Inspector. But X-Ray Hip, that's a cool name. Justin Love Smith, that's a cool name. Milton Bradley, that's a cool name. So again, any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I didn't have time to run this morning. My wife said, "You say that every day." I know. It's a running joke. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.